Yo, hey, welcome back to the Cinatreats podcast. We're gonna talk about stuff that you probably remember, and if you don't, it's probably just buried deep back in your subconscious, because it's from the early aughts. Ooh, I know, scary time for movies, scary time in general. But we're gonna talk about that Fantastic Four.
We're going to talk about Fantastic Four from 2004.
I think it's 2005. Right?
Is it?
I thought it was 2004 as well. It would have been better if it was 2004. They missed it. They missed their mark.
Why are we talking about Fantastic Four 2005? Because the new Fantastic Four trailer at this time of recording dropped a couple weeks ago.
I'm
And
still not entirely sure it's real or not. I'll throw that out there. I don't think it's real, but
I think it's probably about as real as we're going to get. And it feels very like one of those Disney Plus trailers. The little short, tidbitty.
I still need to
ooh.
watch those, man. I need to watch WandaVision. And I want to see WandaVision. I want to see, well, pretty much every show they got, except maybe Loki. I don't really care that much about Loki personally, but
Even if you don't like Loki, okay, if you don't like Loki, you're not going to like it because it's focused on Loki, duh.
yeah.
But if you are ambivalent towards the character, it's a decent show.
Eh.
I think it's actually worth an amount of hype that the hype is. Moon Knight, if you haven't watched Moon Knight.
I forgot about that.
I'm a Moon Knight fan. So no, because I don't like the MCU.
Can't just leave it there. They're going to be mad now. Gonna get the torches, the pitchforks. Some guy's going to have a snow cone machine to keep everybody hydrated and happy.
Oh my God, what's the word? I won't like everything that the MCU gives me.
Oh no, yeah. Okay, I can agree with that.
I am highly critical of the MCU. And on social media yesterday, a good example of this, the latest episode of She-Hulk has created some waves.
I need to
And
watch that too. I've always liked She-Hulk.
see, the problem that people are having with the show is that it's not serious enough.
Man, I mean, did they read the She-Hulk comics at all?
No.
Especially like the ones, was it like Jeff Byrne or something like that? Woman breaks the fourth wall, like
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, she's more lighthearted. She breaks the fourth wall. She's a more accessible character versus Bruce Banner, who has like a lot of baggage and is way darker than She-Hulk.
Dude, I
But
would love
because
an
she's a
actual
Hulk, so people are upset about it. And the latest episode, now I'm gonna say this ahead. I do not like this latest episode.
Yeah.
I'm not defending this latest episode,
All right.
but it also has nothing to do with She-Hulk.
Gotcha.
There's a part where She-Hulk is twerking. I have a problem with twerking in general. I think that it's just like, why? That is a skill that should not, like, why did that become popular? I don't understand. Keep it away from my superheroes and preferably my screen in general.
Once the Powerpuff Girls did it, I'm pretty sure I'm just dead inside to it happening. Yeah, that happened in the reboot of Powerpuff Girls. I don't know, like, I'm definitely not the demographic at that point, you know, because I'm like an old man at this point. But I was like, okay, guys, I think we've missed the mark on what was supposed to happen in this show.
I haven't had that moment of I'm dead inside to this yet. So I am automatically going to be kind of off-put
I'm just kind
by
of like,
it.
look at that. That's out of date, out of touch, kind of cringe. But it's just like, whatever.
People are really, really upset. And the people who are upset about it, I'm pretty sure don't know what they're talking about.
I mean, they're talking about it though.
Oh yeah, they're talking about it because it's the internet, and the internet gives anybody, including us, a voice.
That's what I mean though. Like, they're talking about it. The show's won. Like, it doesn't matter. They're talking about it.
Yeah.
Well, people are gonna probably watch it or look up stuff about it, and it's gonna keep going.
And MCU is already planning into phase 6.
Yeah.
We're
Is
in
that when we
phase
get
4
Blade?
right now.
4?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I mean, it's the end of 4.
Okay.
It's the end of
But
4.
this is the end of 4?
Yeah.
Where's my goddamn Avengers movie?
I do know that I think phase 5 is squishing 2 Avenger movies into it.
Sweet.
So that might be where this.
Oh wait, I bet isn't Black Panther 2 the next one coming out?
Mm-hmm.
Wakanda Forever.
Mm-hmm.
Go see that. Then I'm kind of curious to see Namor because I was like, really? We're doing Namor? Like, I was like, that's something I never expected to see on screen.
This kind of ties into something that we were going to talk about is who are they going to do for the Fantastic Four movie if they don't do Doc Doom?
Yeah.
Because if you're familiar with your Fantastic Four cinematic history, they always do Doc Doom.
Because Doctor Doom's awesome.
But nobody's ever happy.
I'm telling you, if they had just set this shit up a long time ago, if they had just put, what was that fake country that Ultron drops? I think I always forget to get this name. Sokovia? I think that's it. If I'm not, comment, roast me. Don't care. Let's go. But Sokovia, just put Latveria right next to it or something. Have the dude be just an evil, what's that thing where you're like, you can't be got by the U.S. government. You're like, diplomatic immunity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Billionaire. Jackass, like weird occultist. If you want to throw Mephisto stealing his mom in there too, do it. Get the weird in with Doctor Doom. Make him an enigmatic force. I want him in there.
The thing is with Doc Doom, everybody tries to bring either too much serious or they try to ground him in some non-existent reality that they make up themselves. A good example of this is Fantastic Four to Fan Four Stick. I have already done a video on this. Go check it out in the archives.
Do it.
Most of the video is me talking about Doc Doom because the movie it was part of my One Good Thing segments. So one good thing from the movie. And Doc Doom was almost the one good thing from the movie. But the problem is that they stopped. They almost had him. The first time that you see him on screen, he is playing games and hacking computers while listening to classical music on a chair that is set up more like a throne in this building.
No, that does read like classic Doom, won't lie.
That's the first time you see him. The first time you hear of him, A, we get Latveria, so hoopy-doo.
Boom.
And B, he shouldn't be allowed on this project. He's a madman.
This is all lining up. And then they dropped the ball.
And they dropped it hard.
If
I
remember correctly, they just left him in that other universe, right?
Yeah.
And they just started getting like twisted with lightning powers and like, I can disintegrate things.
And then he like turned all metal because
Doom
of Fantastic Four.
Yeah, this 2004 Fantastic Four.
I'm going to say this.
2005.
And I'm going to say this again. Doc Doom does not have any superpowers, and he is not a giant metal walking man. Let's say it again for the people in back. Doc Doom doesn't have any superpowers, and he's not a metal walking man.
Unless we count being able to rock that green like bathrobe as like a superpower, because man is killing it. Absolutely.
See, the thing is that because his personality makes everything about him work. If you think about it, you sit down and you think about it, he is in a bright green cloak, and he wears metal plating and a metal mask, and not like a stylized metal mask where it has like intricate designs or anything. No, it looks like something he made in Metal Workshop. But you sit there and you don't necessarily argue with it while he's on screen because you know he has the ability to tear Thanos' spine out with his bare hands. That's how badass Doc Doom is. He doesn't care if he's the most fashionable person. He wants to look gaudy and ostentatious. And the fact that he's not gold is a little surprising.
Give it time. Just give it time. It'll happen. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if it's already happened. If you know, engage, comments, go, boom, do it.
I'm pretty familiar, and I'm pretty sure that he keeps the silver and green.
I mean, it's an iconic look.
It's very Doc Doom.
I know in like the what is it, like 70s show, like they didn't get to do the gray, so it was more like a dark purple for some reason.
Yeah.
Even then, it looks still good.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if we're gonna get like the origin story of the Fantastic Four, or we're just gonna start with them as a team.
Honestly, I would prefer that they just go into them being a team, especially because it's taken them so long to bring the Fantastic Four to the MCU. Now, we all know why. And if you don't know why, it rhymes with Knox.
There you go.
Go look it up. It won't take you very long.
Nah.
It's a long, sordid story between companies, but it's pretty cut and dry when you just kind of explain to the common man why. I mean, it's part of the reason why it took Spider-Man. I say so long. It took Spider-Man a hot minute, even though Spider-Man was the face of the MCU, was the face of Marvel before the MCU happened. When the MCU happened, that's when Iron Man became the face of Marvel. And I had the group posters before the first Iron Man movie came out, and it had from importance the front to the back. So if you were further in the back, people didn't necessarily care about you. And Spider-Man was front and center. And then you had the MCU happen, and Iron Man's front and center, and Spider-Man was to his left. And now Spider-Man is back in the middle again, partially because Robert Downey Jr. doesn't want to do Iron Man anymore. And I love Robert Downey Jr. I'm very proud of him for turning his life around. And Iron Man 1, when he comes in with Back in Black, I'm just like foaming at the mouth because I like Robert Downey Jr. before. And if you didn't know, he had a lot of life problems and he dropped off the scene, like hot tamale dropped off the scene. Iron Man 1, it was his big comeback to cinema. And they did it with AC/DC, and I'm like, yes! That doesn't mean that the only thing he can play is Tony Stark.
Oh, yeah. He was, oh, no, I can't believe I forgot his name. Silent actor, pretty famous. Charlie Chaplin, there you go. He played Charlie Chaplin in that.
I was going to go Buster Keaton or Charlie Chaplin.
It's for, showing that Charlie Chaplin wasn't exactly a perfect human being either. He definitely had problems. If you want to look into that, I'll kill your own childhood if you're like 80 or something. Is MODOK a Fantastic Four villain?
Yeah.
I don't like MODOK.
I don't think they should. Oh my God. He's a giant head. He's a giant floating head. And if you're afraid to make things look silly, not people acting silly, because the MCU has no problem with people acting silly, but things looking silly. And perfect example is what they did with Ms. Marvel. I actually stopped watching the show.
I forgot that came out.
I stopped watching. When she first uses her power and I saw what they did to make it more real, I stopped watching. I'm like, no. That's not, you don't have to mystical up her powers. She has magical and biggin stretching powers. Just let it look. It's not supposed to look realistic. That's like going, you know what, Plastic Man? We need to make you not so silly.
I swear to God, if they nerfed Plastic Man, I know we're talking about DC, sue us, but don't fuck with Plastic Man. Plastic Man is awesome.
We're talking about the Fantastic Four, and we're gonna go into Reed, and
Mr. Fantastic.
Mr. Fantastic. So
the most oblivious, smart guy in the entire world.
At least in this movie.
I mean, he's pretty oblivious in general.
I don't know if I'd say
when it comes to certain things, he totally
okay.
Is. He's got his blinders on.
He has the typical smart person problem. And I will say that it's something that Marvel doesn't do very often with the smart people, is that they have those kind of smart people blinders. So seeing Reed continue to have this is really nice. And in the 2005 version, I liked that they kind of cranked it up a little bit, because it made Reed feel very different from the rest of the smart people that we've been exposed to at the time, which granted wasn't a whole lot of people. And his foil is Victor. And Victor has his eye on everything. He knows everything. He's thought of everything. The first time we see him, he constantly surprises Reed with how much information he actually knows about the pitch that Reed is trying to sell.
I know
him.
you're bankrupt. I know you need my help, and this is an opportunity you can't refuse.
I know you went to NASA. I
You're
know you
screwed.
went to NASA.
I got your girl, too.
Yeah, oh God, when he brings Sue
and
out,
I'm going to take, what? He offers him, a ludicrous deal. I don't remember the exact number. I think he just...
Oh, shit.
I think he gives him, 15% or something, jank like that.
Yeah.
It is a raw deal.
No, I'm thinking that's in the single digits.
Doom is a shrewd businessman.
But Reed does it because Doc Doom's argument to him is, even if this is a ludicrously small amount, it's still going to be enough to pay off the Baxter Building fourth mortgage you've got going on, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And Reed is like, shit, he's got a point.
He's got a point.
And this is why Doc Doom is successful, is that he argues and bullies people with his intelligence. But he's not a wimp behind it. So you know that if you double cross him, something's going to happen. It might be in the future. It might be something a little more violent, depending on if he has his suit on. Because when he has his business suit on, when he's not all Doc Doom, when he's just Victor, he tends to not get violent with people. But if he is Doc Doom, all bets off.
Oh, I mentioned in that other scene, it was like Ben Grimm was like, what do you also want? Like his firstborn?
Yes, it's hilarious. That is hilarious to me. If you don't know Fantastic Four comic books, Victor basically comes in and tells Reed and Sue that he's their daughter's godfather. He
did save her life. So.
Well, yes, he did, but he didn't give them an option.
Oh, no, it wasn't like out of charity. This is pure spite. This is classic Doom.
I can't have Sue. I'm going to have your daughter. And the thing is she loves him. It's so great. And there's an arc where Reed and Sue go all kind of perceived evil, and they start trying to kill him. And she defends Victor. For him, that is a very weird character. It's character growth. He's actually a good godfather.
Oh, no, that's what makes Dr. Doom great. He's like, really, it's one of those, I wouldn't even say Dr. Doom's like fully evil. Like, he's definitely like
a narcissistic asshole.
Like, no, he's definitely like evil adjacent. Like, he is like there. But I mean, he's nice to Squirrel Girl of all people. I mean, she did like whoop his ass with some squirrels, but like, he'll do that. He'll help people out. He'll join up with the X-Men to help them out. He even helps the Avengers every now and again. But he's still just like, yeah, I'm also doing my secret plans on the side. I'll see you in a couple weeks. You know what I mean?
You've never heard in the comics that Latveria is a struggling, poverty-stricken country.
Oh, no.
No, he runs his country well. He takes care of his people. He just doesn't like most other people.
He doesn't like Reed Richards in particular.
Well,
I see that silver streak. I'm all silver. I don't know.
To be fair, Reed, well, I mean, in the comics, Reed's an ass. So it's two big personalities clashing up against each other. But Reed has the I'm gonna step into Doc Doom for a second. Reed has the audacity to be spouting about humanity and saving people and greater good and all that garbage when he knows better as a scientific mind that that's not true. Exiting Doc Doom, that's what makes them different. Reed cares about everybody. He doesn't care about just a small amount of people. And even when he is making poor choices, like with the Illuminati, he still has some amount of moral compass. And I mean, how many other people on that? Oh,
what?
Shit.
Yeah, the Illuminati?
It's Iron Man and Black
Doc
Panther,
Strange.
Doc Strange, Reed Richards.
I feel like there's somebody else. Oh, is it Black Bolt?
I think it is Black Bolt. Give me a pause. I'm gonna double check.
I feel like we should probably talk about the movie at some point. I feel like I don't know. I'm fine with this, but it's I don't know.
Well, we could talk about
spoiler alert. I don't like the movie that much. I'll throw it down now.
Oh shit, that's quite a lot of people. Okay, so the current roster in the comics is Black Ant, Enchantress, The Hood, Mad Thinker, Thunderball, and Tatiana. If you haven't heard of any of those people, I'm not surprised. Former roster, we have Amadeus Cho, Beast, Black Bolt, Black Panther, Captain America, because he was technically on it, and the whole thing that sparred Civil War was that Captain America didn't agree with what the Illuminati was doing at the time, and the Illuminati erased his memory and threw him down to Earth and said, "You're stupid." Captain Britain, again, reminder that he exists. Doc Green, Doc Strange, Iron Man, Medusa, Mr. Fantastic, Namor, Professor X, and Yellow Jacket. Now, those weren't on the Illuminati all at the same time, and the most famous group of them together is Iron Man, Black Bolt, Doc Strange, Mr. Fantastic, Namor, and Professor X. But Meh. So, the biggest question that we have here at Cinatreats, what are they going to do? Do we want another origin story? And we touched on this earlier. Do we want another origin story, or do we want them to just be an established group? And who are they going up against? This is the problem because the person that you would put them up against is Doc Doom.
Yeah.
That's their most known, that's their most iconic, and
One of the best
quite frankly,
Marvel villains ever.
he's just good in general.
Like, I almost feel like we have to, like, this is going to sound really negative, because it is. I feel like we have to suffer the Fantastic Four to get Doctor Doom into the MCU, and I'm willing to swallow that pill. I'll take the bullet if I get Doc Doom, as long as he's good. I'll take it.
I don't dislike the Fantastic Four that much.
I'm just kind
They're
of
not my favorite group.
Like, I just don't care about Marvel's first family them. I like the Thing, and I like the Thing and Johnny Storm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just because I like Spider-Man and the Human Torch teaming up all the time. It's a great dynamic watching the two quippy assholes bounce back off each other. I love it. I need it.
I like when Spider-Man teams up with anybody who can keep up with his banter. Johnny, Deadpool, Wolverine. It's just good. It's just good. And the problem is we may never get to see that happen.
Don't put that evil on me.
I know.
The thing is, we're gonna deal with the college trilogy of Spider-Man movies, and if they set the Fantastic Four up, they're in New York too, you know.
Well, yeah, the
crossover.
Fantastic Four is supposed to be in New
man.
York. The Avengers are supposed to be in New York. The X-Men are supposed to be in New York. Spider-Man is supposed to be in New York.
But
They're all supposed to be in New York. Do you not think they're not going to bump elbows every once in a while?
Oh, they totally would.
The MCU is missing a lot of those interactions because they spend so much time just doing the solo stuff.
They have to change how they do things because, you know, when they started, nobody was thinking that this shit was going to be viable, and now we're like is it 15 years out at this point?
Going back to the Fantastic Four.
Maybe they could don't give Fantastic Four a solo movie. Hear me out. I know we're doing more Spider-Man movies. Like, can we just get the Fantastic Four wrapped up in a Spider-Man movie? Just have Spider-Man and then the Fantastic Four, just we can like coast them in.
See, that's the problem is that
then it's not a Fantastic Four movie, but it's like...
And the MCU has made a point of, with the exception of Spider-Man, everybody has to have their own solo movie before coming in.
Wait a second. I just thought of something. She-Hulk's also in New York.
Yeah.
She can hang out with Spider-Man as well.
Yeah. She-Hulk's in New York.
And Daredevil.
Hulk is currently in New York. Daredevil is... When you sit down and you think about it, you're like, oh my God.
Gotta be the worst place to live in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, screw being in New York. They're all there. All the freaks are there. I'm not talking about the heroes. I'm talking about the people that come to kill them.
Do you want to know how many times they've had to rebuild New York?
Tons.
Like, I'm surprised that New York has not had a Gotham where half of it just sinks into the
sky
sea.
turns red forever. It's just perpetual night.
Meh. So, I can't think of anybody that I would introduce the Fantastic Four with if you did a bad guy. Like, Doc Doom is just aces.
Super Skrull. They already set it up. I'm telling you, it does that like classic thing. Like, they can just rest on their laurels. If they make Super Skrull interesting and they make the Fantastic Four interesting, we can get some science mumbo jumbo because they're not going to whip out Galactus early. They tried that. Better not. You can't just give the Fantastic Four a world-ending threat in the Marvel Cinematic Universe right now because everyone and their brother is going to be doing what they did since the goddamn Avengers movies. Like, why don't we just call the Avengers? We're not doing Annihilus. We're not doing none of that. I just thought of it. Who does Kang fight? Because I know people have been talking about Kang the Conqueror showing up. Who does he fight generally?
Ant-Man.
Really? Mm-hmm. That reminds me. Are they going to do another Ant-Man?
They are doing another Ant-Man.
Oh,
and
sick.
Speaking of that,
Who's
it
the
says
bad guy?
Kang the Conqueror, Avengers 5.
Ooh. That's the problem with all this MCU stuff. It's total hearsay. We're going off of projections. We're just trying to predict the future here. Spoilers. Multiverse of Madness. It's been out for a while. John Krasinski is Mr. Fantastic, the dumbest man in the universe.
I hope he doesn't keep the beard.
I like the beard. Granted, I like beards, so, I'm biased. Makes him look all distinguished.
That's the problem, though,
I
is
want
that he doesn't need a beard to look distinguished. And Reed with facial hair always looks weird for me.
Well,
He's
it
always
usually goes
clean
evil,
shaven,
too.
and he's got the gray on the sides, and he looks distinguished. Just even though, to be honest, he probably wouldn't look that clean all the time. And I would imagine that he grows facial hair a lot.
He would get some scruff.
He would get some scruff just
Do you think
because.
if they just did it just to elongate his face out a little bit more? Because like Reed Richards kind of angular and John Krasinski, well, he doesn't have like a squat head, kind of has like a little. You think it was just more to get like the profile right?
Maybe. Like I could
I don't think
definitely
it's a bad
see.
look.
We're looking at the picture right now.
Yeah, I'm staring at his face.
We're staring at his face.
What color is his
and-
eyes? Do you think they're like brown?
Yeah.
Not bad. I feel like those like gray needs to be like way more defined.
The problem is they won't dedicate to the gray. Like just make it white. Don't make it gray. Just make it white. Look.
This man got hit by cosmic rays in space. He's seen some shit. Just let it happen.
Let it be white. His hair is dark. It's supposed to be very contrasting to each other. It's supposed to be, you look at him and you see the white and then you see the dark brown, but they try to ground it in reality and make it more like I'm old. And that's not where that comes from. He doesn't have the white there because he's old. He has the white there because he was freaking hit with not gamma rays, but cosmic cloud ray
like that.
things. I don't remember
We
specifically.
don't know our stuff. Oh, wow.
I don't remember specifically what it is. And knowing Marvel, it probably has its own special name
Oh, yeah.
that is, again, not grounded in reality.
Actually, I
It's
think when we
comic
were
books.
watching the movie, I was like, man, thank God it's not the Phoenix Force hitting him. Oh, God, could you imagine that? Oh, God, imagine Mr. Fantastic with the Phoenix's powers. Oh, okay, well, never mind. I'll take it back. I was thinking, what would be good as a show? And I was like, well, they would never do it, but a Cloak and Dagger show, because nobody knows who the hell Cloak and Dagger actually are. Sci-Fi did it, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's where it went to die. I understand now. They've wiped their hands of that. That is the Pontius Pilate move I've ever seen. I want no part of that. Like,
if you're listening to this and you don't know what sci-fi is,
The Expanse was good.
Yes, I did like The Expanse.
I love The Expanse, actually.
It was because as far as I know, it's still doing stuff.
I think it did, but I think it's moved somewhere else. I don't think they have it anymore.
It was.
Eureka was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. It was the one where they're in like the town and they got like all the wacky shit that happens to them. There's like,
We used to own it.
oh, okay, cool. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So
no.
you know what I'm talking about.
I know what I'm talking about.
They used to be on they used to be on it.
They had good stuff, but more often than not, if you heard that sci-fi was connected with a project, you're gonna go, this is gonna be C tier at best. And that's just kind of the reputation it had, and fans of sci-fi loved it because of that. Like they loved that C cheesy. Some amount of it is trying, but you know that not enough of it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was a channel that had obviously sci-fi stuff on it, and
Oh yeah, that was where I got to watch a lot of the Godzilla movies I didn't own. I would do this. I'm going to show my age here. I would get my freaking newspaper out and I would look at the TV guide and I would see if any of like the monster movies I wanted to see were coming on.
Oh my god!
And I would be like, oh yeah. Some people had like the TV guide book where they'd print it out.
Yeah, the special TV guide book.
I never got one of those.
Mm-hmm.
I think the argument was that was like, that's like 80 cents more than like if I just got the newspaper, which we'd get this sent to the house for free. And I was like, damn it, old man, I just want to know. I'm trying to plan this shit in advance.
I know, because back in the day, you couldn't just boop with a beep bop. I'm gonna watch this right now. Press play.
Oh, we live in much better times. God bless. Everyone's always like, oh man, my day was better. Bullshit. No, it wasn't.
I will say that not being able to build playlists on these streaming companies
Right.
is annoying.
I know, like,
I
you can do a
hate
queue
it.
and stuff, but, like, it's not the same.
I miss being able to watch a couple episodes of one show and a couple episodes of another show and a couple episodes of another show. And maybe they're not in the same season. Maybe they're not consecutive to each other.
My God.
I know.
Who does
Such a
that shit?
thought. I know. Oh my God.
We were having this argument like years ago when it was like, I don't remember what it was. There was some kind of a bill going on where they were talking about the streaming. I don't remember what it was. It was something, and it was like, you know what they're gonna do? Everyone's just gonna make their own streaming service, and they're gonna split everything up, and it's not gonna be convenient anymore. It ain't gonna be just like how Netflix isn't like the powerhouse it used to be, because Netflix had it all at the time, and now it's just like, nope, I got this one. I got like Paramount's got its own thing, Disney, Hulu, Tubi, movie, whatever the hell that thing's called. There's like tons over in the crack, and I can't help. I can't, being a Pirates of the Caribbean fan, I can't help but sit over here and just thinking, yo ho, a pirate's life for me to get what I want. I'm sorry. I'm not advocating that you should do that. I'm just.
Unless the creator of
where
the
my
show or
brain goes.
movie says that you should go do that.
Supposed to be talking about the Fantastic
We're
Four, but
supposed
like
to be
I
talking-
said,
damn
Marvel's first family is so easy to ignore that I can just talk over them all the time.
See, but I have notes. We took notes.
Oh
I have
no, we
notes
watched
from the
we watched the
movie.
2005 movie. It's just
And there are a couple of things that I do want to talk about that I think they should stay away from. And they haven't had a problem with this with the MCU because they're at the end of phase 4 right now. And considering that they have 25 projects in the works right now, and that's 2 phases worth of stuff, just sit down and think about those numbers for a hot second.
they're gonna run out of actors.
They are going to run out. They're going to run out of
Gonna need
actors.
more. I'm just gonna go to like fucking Cleveland, Ohio, and scoop them up.
The movie era, right before the MCU, is where this Fantastic Four movie comes from. And they all had a lot of similarities. And you brought this up.
Oh yeah, I
Is-
ruined it for you.
one of the biggest problems I have with this Fantastic Four movie, because believe it or not, 2005 Fantastic Four, I don't mind watching.
It's the best Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah. To be fair, that's
That's
only
why
out
we're
of
using it
3
as like
movies.
a template to like look at the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was like this was the best one. What did they do right? Even though we've not mentioned that.
The thing we're about to
gonna
go
do
into
it.
it.
It's gonna be the end. Let's go.
We're gonna go into what it did right and what it did wrong and what the new movie should avoid. And the first thing that I think the new movie should avoid is the whole company plot line.
Oh yeah, like what does Von Doom Industries actually do? They
Stuff,
say it's like some kind of a tech company,
cutting edge
and
tech.
it's like the shareholders aren't happy with your decision. And I was like, what is he doing? Like they went to space and it's been a disaster. Like oh man, 5 people got irradiated, and
This
did
is
the space
something-
station get destroyed?
This is no.
Nope.
This
not that
is
I'm aware.
this is something that I wrote down. I have 3 pages of notes, 5 separate times on this movie. This is something that the movie does poorly, and it's its timing. It presents time to the viewer, and then proceeds to ignore it. Just straight up ignore it.
Oh yeah, we were trying to figure out how long it took them to like do the space shuttle, and then there was like the montage, and then it just like cuts to them on the ground like 2 days later, and I was like, oh okay, I guess we're now living with this.
Let me get this straight. This movie was made in 2005. It doesn't make a point of saying that this is in the future or this is in the past. So as a viewer, we're supposed to assume that this is supposed to be present day 2005 along with its technologies. So when we're presented with what Reed and Victor can do, we go, oh, that's really advanced. They must be really smart because they give us this is supposed to be present day. The rate that information is distributed, read, accepted, and talked about in this movie is insane for 2005.
Oh yeah, that is
I
going.
know that it might be weird to hear that Facebook and Twitter and Instagram are still relatively new, but they're still relatively new. And social media like that was not as huge in 2005 as it was in even 2010. And they talk about how the Fantastic Four, through one singular incident, there were no cell phones available.
Just in a newspaper.
It was in a newspaper, and
Fucking
then
newspaper.
after everything happened, it was spread on the news. The local New York news
I mean,
Local.
I'm pretty sure like everyone would be talking about it if it was in space. But like, my thing was it bad enough to just be like, yeah, Von Doom Industries tanking, absolutely bombing out. Like, we're gonna kick Victor Von Doom off of the board.
That's not
the
how
Norman Osborn style, as I said. Like, I noticed it after we watched the clip.
That's what we were. We got a little sidetracked. That's what we were getting at. Is that it follows Spider-Man 1's plot, subplot with the whole company thing a little too close. And once you realize it, you're like, oh no, I can't unsee it. And even then, Norman Osborn is so petty. Like, he's way pettier than Doc Doom is because Norman Osborn totally vaporizes the entire board that kicked him off.
Turns him into freaking skeletons.
Yeah, he turns them into skeletons that then dissolve. And whereas Victor just goes after the head guy.
Yeah, just lightning bolts him to the chest.
I will say that is a very smart person reaction. I'm going to go after the person that is directly the reason why I am having the troubles that I'm having. He is the person that wronged me. He's the one that made the call because the other guys don't even get lines. The extras in the room don't get lines. They just kind of look at each other and shrug.
I feel like they also agreed, and if it was me, I would also just chain lightning the suckers.
Incredibly smart person.
I'm a stupid one. I see how it is.
Give
me untapped power. I will misuse it.
I'm just saying that once you get to a certain IQ, your brain works a little differently. And I know somebody that has a certain IQ, and they would just go after the singular person that took the beef up with them versus everyone. Because logically, you go, everyone had to have a say in this. It can't just be one dude, one asshole. But the movie is presented like it's that one asshole and everybody else just went along with it. So Victor zapping that guy in the chest kind of makes you feel a little good. Because this guy gives Victor a week in 2005 to fix this problem. What problem? Again, what problem? They were supposed to go up in space and irradiate plants. That was the goal.
Yeah.
They didn't even get to the $1 million worth of research after the plants. They hadn't spent that money yet. They probably hadn't spent what Victor was going to give Reed for this whole endeavor. He probably didn't give him the 5-10% that he promised Reed for the whole project.
No, he still paid him because he was like, fix this, bro. He kept the lights on, at least at the Baxter building.
Well, yes, but my point is that what they lost in the project probably wasn't as much as what he paid Reed. So his entire company going under makes no sense. And they make it sound like Victor has been funding his company all by himself. So if he has this kind of money to just throw around, I don't think that this one oopsie doodle is going to plunge this company into complete and utter ruin.
It might drop 20% or something, but I don't know. Let's just not focus on the Victor Von Doom industries thing. There's a weird angle to go at it. Just have competing scientific minds and all that.
One more thing.
Oh, what you got?
One more thing. I gotta. So when the Fantastic Four, they do their whole building thing, and the board calls Victor upset that the Fantastic Four are gaining traction in the media, and that they don't want these freaks involved with the company. And Victor is trying to go I was going to use it for free publicity, and the board's like, no, we're not doing that. Absolutely not. The whole entire city knows who these people are. With one incident, they are chased around the streets. What board that's worried about money in their right mind is not going to capitalize on this? Are you serious? They don't have to spend a dime for people to go, they're connected with Von Doom Industries. You could have easily said Von Doom Industries owns the Fantastic Four. Boom.
We literally bankrolled them. Come on.
And then everything you do afterwards, Johnny immediately starts getting toy deals. Again, this happens within a week.
I feel like that week turnaround's looking pretty good if that was what was going on.
Right. If they had a week to do this and Johnny's already getting toy deals and a week in this universe is crazy amazing, and I wish we had that in the real world because I'd be able to make bank.
See, we're doing it again. We're just like, I'm going to make a better Fantastic Four movie while watching the Fantastic Four movie.
That's the thing that you do with Fantastic Four, though.
I know.
So what are they going to do to avoid that in the new Fantastic Four movie?
Like, I don't know, dude. Like, also, this dude, Von Doom is also from Latveria.
Yep.
It's mentioned a couple times, and he also gets shipped back to Latveria on that like boat at the end of the movie.
Yeah, and at the top of Silver
Spoilers.
Surfers, we see him in his castle.
Yeah.
Just
chilling.
sitting in his box.
I gotta wonder, like, doesn't he need to eat?
I don't know.
Can he eat?
I don't know.
We know he's conscious because he like did all that electric frazzle dazzle.
They teased that he's conscious.
Oh, he's got to be.
And at the beginning of the second movie, they again don't make it totally clear that he is 100% conscious. And even if you're conscious, that doesn't mean that your body needs to eat. And since at that point he was totally metal, he may not have needed to eat. Because the question becomes, does Ben need to eat? Does the Thing need to eat if you didn't know?
He drinks. We do know it. We've seen him eat.
We see him eat. We see him drink. But does he need to?
That's a good question.
They make a
Now
point
you're
of
going to
saying
make me
that.
start thinking some dark thoughts about, like, what happens if I just start chipping away the rocks? Will I
Right.
get down to muscle tissue at some point? Or will it just be rock?
Every bit of him, even his organs, are solid rock. So why does he need to eat? Rock doesn't
Will
need.
that just turn his stomach into a big old gizzard?
Maybe.
Like, technically, it just rocks.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's not what a gizzard is, but, you know, gizzard's like rougher, so you like mash up stuff. And
that's kind of at least the CG that we get.
see, now my dark mind's like, now I wonder would that taste good if I cooked that?
No,
I mean,
it
it's made out of
wouldn't.
rock.
It wouldn't.
That's the thing. We saw it like pulsing in flesh, like, so it has to be somewhat fleshy.
Maybe.
Questions we shouldn't have to ask. I shouldn't be thinking these thoughts.
At the same time, this is kind of in conjunction with the comic books. This is kind of whenever Marvel does something like this, because you got to think Colossus. Colossus is all supposed to be solid metal,
I'm a metal man.
but he can move and breathe and like everything about it's not supposed to. Depending on what Colossus you're talking about, I should say, because sometimes it's just the outside, sometimes it's all of him. It just kind of depends. That he's metal. And yet he can still move around. So to our brains, we go, does that mean that it's soft metal? But he can take a punch like nobody's biz. So it's kind of one of those things where you have to give us enough suspension of disbelief to be able to deal with this. Because if you sit down and you think about it too hard, it's either really dark or really dumb.
I will say, though.
And I just described comic books.
Yeah. I believe Ben Grimm, though. Like, that's the thing I do enjoy about this movie is, like, actually, Ben and, like, Reed's relationship is pretty great. And just the Thing in general is, like, really tugging at the heartstrings. You know, he's, like, you can tell he's, like, upset for his friend. Like, that scene at the bridge where they're revealed to be a Fantastic Four and he can't even pick up the damn ring.
The ring. And,
you know what I mean? Like, oh, dude, I felt that. Like, I wasn't going to cry for the Thing because I'm a big burly man. Not really. But it's like, I was like, I felt that. Like, that sucks for him. Like, the one thing he wants, he can't even do by himself. Like, God damn. And I got to say, though, her reaction, like, she's like, I can't do this. I was looking at the Thing, and I was like, you know, I could get by with that. Like, you don't look that bad.
They're married. Like, this is a huge deal that she leaves. And they kind of play it down. They let you know that Ben is in love with her. Like, he loves her so much.
No, yeah, they keep bringing up her relationship, like, a couple times. There's, like, the scene where him and Reed were, like, looking over, and it's like, they got a good thing going. It's like, no, me and blah, blah, and he, like, takes off. I mean, when he was doing the whole, when he was turning into the Thing, it was the whole, like, shrimp incident, right, where the bad shrimp was turning him into the Thing.
Yeah.
That's the secret, kids. It wasn't the radiation. It was the shrimp. But he was leaving just to, like, let Sue and him have, like, a moment. You know what I mean? They're always building that up. And that was just because he had a good thing. So he was like, he wants that for Reed. He wants that for his buddy.
Yep.
And then she just drops him like a rock hard potato. And again, I'm like, I feel like you could get by with that, man.
And like she runs off screaming like he's some sort of monstrosity.
This isn't like Frankenstein where he's like sewn together corpses. He's just made out of rocks.
Yeah. And I mean, not like unattractive rocks either.
No, like he's got a face.
He's got a face.
Eyes.
You can see his like even in the comics, his
muscles.
face moves. He has eyebrows. You know,
Yeah.
not like furry eyebrows.
He's lost like Like what he lost?
He lost a finger. He
yeah,
has
he lost
4
a finger.
fingers.
It's like whatever.
Oh darn. Oh
Damn.
no. Like I have a problem with her reaction, but the trade-off is the new relationship that we see him get. I really like.
Oh yeah, with I don't remember actual character name. It's Kerry Washington. I'm pretty sure. Hold on, I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna find out if I'm right. I'm pretty sure it's Kerry Washington.
Yep.
Oh.
Alicia Masters.
Alicia Masters.
Like one of the first
sweet,
things she
Elise.
notices is that Ben is so sad. She feels his face and she's like, "You're so sad," and it's just it's so weird because they make it sound like these two are really close and they're really tight. And I am in a relationship where I would describe it as such. And if I suddenly turn to a rock person, I don't think my significant others would run off and scream.
No,
Because
I was like, how deep was that love before?
Like, I know this is one of those, the outside doesn't matter, it's what the inside that counts
Yeah.
kind of thing. And that's something that comes up with Ben in
I'm
particular.
pretty sure it says in sickness and in health, right?
Yeah, in
Right?
sickness
Like,
and
you
in
know,
health.
like
And the
why
first
most
time
marriages
for the
end in
first time
divorce,
that we
right?
see
Yeah.
them, Ben is like, you know how we used to say that we would love each other no matter what?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah,
Yeah, totally.
totally. And then
Get out of there with your Ninja Turtle outfit. Come on. He's wearing the same. I thought that during the movie too, and I was like, oh, he's got the brown trench coat and the hat, just like the Ninja Turtles. This works all the time. Nobody will suspect a thing. New Yorkers are dense. They don't care.
Oh my god.
Actually, it's probably not that they're dense. They probably just straight up just don't give a shit. I think that's why the Ninja Turtles got away with it for so long, because New Yorkers just straight don't care. They're too busy. They don't got time to put up with that.
I didn't even think about that.
Every time I've been to New York and there's been weird people just hanging around, that's the thing. They're not even weird. They're just part of the fabric of New York that just moves. Accept it. You didn't think about that at all, did you?
No, I didn't. Like that. Oh my god. Oh my god, they even have the 4 fingers.
I think Ninja Turtles got 3, but still.
Oh wait, is it 3?
I think Ninja Turtles had 3.
Is it 3? It's probably 3. Someone is going to be like, "Oh my god, you don't like
See,
Ninja
this is where we do
Turtles."
it. Like, we just presume that we have commenters and we go, hey, engage with the video, call us out, do it.
I do want people to know that I am a fan of physical effects. I like physical effects.
Oh, yeah.
I think CG has its place, but I have a problem with Hollywood going like really down on it, and it's become like there's a reason why actors are so blown away when they get to use real sets, because it's so easy to green screen and blue screen everything. And they didn't CG. They didn't even like CG his eyes. They didn't CG the thing at all.
No, yeah, Michael Chiklis did a good job.
Yeah, Michael.
Like, we could see his pain through his eyes, even
Yeah.
behind the makeup. And his voice, too. Like, he did a great job.
He.
Granted, it took me a minute to recognize him because I realized he was from The Shield.
Yeah,
I brought that up, and I was like, that looks like the dude from The Shield.
that is the dude from the
That
Shield.
is the dude from The Shield.
He had to be constantly cooled down. He had to go to therapy. It was very similar to what Jim Carrey had to go through when he was playing the Grinch.
No, really?
Because being in that much prosthetic and that much
Warm as
makeup
hell.
is it feels like torture. So they had to go through torture training to be able to withstand it, to be able to do it. So part of his performance is very genuine with his frustrations. I imagine it would not take him so much to be frustrated at how he looks when he just spent hours in makeup to put all of this stuff on, because they didn't just like, you know what, we're gonna stop and we'll have him wear a shirt and pants all the time and it'll only be prosthetics on his feet and his hands and his head. They didn't know. They went full tilt with it, and he did it.
Yeah.
And he did a great job. And I kind of want that again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we saw what happened in Fan Four Stick.
Yeah.
Where immediately we lose all the weight.
Yeah.
It just looks odd.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of the character that's like dropped from that as well. Because
And
the thing is that the thing is made out of rock and yet is still very emotive.
yes.
You know?
And he's the
Even in the
heart of the
comics.
Fantastic Four. He's the heart. He's the optimism of the Fantastic Four. So if you don't have it in a way where he emotes that you can empathize and sympathize with, then you lose a whole lot of the Fantastic Four right there. And in Fan Four Stick, they didn't emote with him very much.
I mean, he was there. He was still doing like, well, no, I can't even say that. I know he's saying funny stuff.
I wouldn't say funny.
I'm not gonna
stuff.
lie. The movie is like an ironic gray blur in my brain, probably because the what do they call that color alteration or the post process of the movie where they're just like, let's just make it drab and uninteresting to look at.
DC?
Yeah. Huh?
DC?
Oh damn, we taking shots now. No, I'm talking about Fan Four Stick, but no, you're right. It's like the Zack Snyder like post processing process. Like, how do I kill any amount of color and joy out of this? Drop it.
Bam.
Don't even get me started. I had this argument the other day, and it was an argument, an actual almost. Granted, we were drunk, but it was an argument. It was like Zack Snyder doesn't understand Superman, and we were trying to figure out like who's the best Superman. I was like, if you don't say Christopher Reeves on God right now, I will come over there. And he was like, nah, Henry Cavill's got the physique. I was like, got the physique, but not the fucking soul. He's got the wrong movie, bro. Like,
yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Get out of here with your bad self.
Yeah, exactly. We're not going to get into that. But like, what is it about just like dropping all the color out of a superhero movie? It's like, I get it. You want to be realistic. I think they did a good in-between on this with like the spacesuits. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because they're like that form-fitting like outfit. Mm-hmm. And they got like the badge on there. It still looked like a Fantastic Four uniform.
Yeah, and it was blue enough to where you could tell it was blue, but it wasn't like blue.
Yeah, we saw it in the daytime, and it was like a slightly like navy, kind of like a brighter navy.
It was a darker navy.
Yeah, it was a darker navy. That was bloody fine. I could still see it. And Johnny Storm turns bright orange when he's on fire and stuff. The Thing is yellow. Like.
They don't shy away from colors, and it looks good.
That's the one thing I liked about the gaudiness of like the early 2000s is they were just like, let's go with it. Sorry, I bumped the mic. It's like, imagine if the Green Goblin was done like now.
Oh my God.
Well, actually, we do know what that looks like now.
We do know what that looks
Although
like.
it still works. We got to see Willem Dafoe just going ham. Oh man, I fucking love Willem Dafoe.
I love him so much, and.
I even like him in Antichrist, and that's a hard movie to watch.
That's because he brings enjoyment.
Ooh. Yeah.
He's one of those actors where you go, I'm going to enjoy whatever he does.
Dude, watch like an interview of Willem Dafoe. He's just so happy to be making art and stuff. I can't help but just like leech off of his energy. It's so amazing.
And it doesn't matter what he's doing. Like, it really doesn't matter what he's doing. He has such an energy to it, and he's going to bring it no matter what. And it's enjoyable, and you enjoy it with him. And that's something that we've kind of lost in modern superhero movies, is that you can really tell when the people behind the project have that enthusiasm. It's not just the passion, because I'm not saying that the people who aren't making the MCU aren't passionate.
Oh no,
there are a lot of
like
passionate
VFX
people.
Arters. There we go. Artists out there, like they're doing it. They love doing this stuff. This is what they went to school for, and like they're doing cool stuff. Actually, I think that's why I like the Black Panther movie so much, was because it was like color. Let's bring it all in. Let's just show how vibrant this like civilization is. Even though they still made him underpowered as fuck. I brought this up. I was like, man, they made Black Panther underpowered. And someone was like, what do you mean? I was like, here's a good example. Batman knows like 135 of the world martial arts. Fucking T'Challa knows all of them. This man will just whoop people's ass. Someone would throw a spear at Black Panther and he would hunt them down weeks later and beat the shit out of them in their home. This man is just like a one-man wrecking crew. He's the king of the strongest country in the world, maybe outside of Latveria. Keep it on topic. But, like,
And they kind of, they wanted to make, again, this is, I've been talking about this. It's that I want to make it more relatable. So you want to make it seem a little less out there, and like we can go to Tony and turn it around to smartness, because Tony is supposed to be crazy smart. And they even brought Tony down just because having someone that is so incredibly smart, that's such a high bar to do. How do you do anybody that's smarter than that? Because believe it or not, Tony is not the smartest person in the MCU.
No.
And like, especially with Iron Man, just like
Wait, isn't it Reed Richards?
Oh shit! Who's the smartest person in Marvel?
In Marvel Comics?
Snap.
That's kind of a, see, now we're just inviting controversy. Someone's gonna be mad as hell about it.
See, the problem is that anybody that's gonna be mad at this.
Who the hell is Amadeus Cho? Oh, wait a minute. Is that the dude who became the Hulk? I'll just look that up. I'm curious because I know another person became a Hulk and was smart. I could be wrong. I could totally be. Damn, he's like all the way down there. I don't know who these people are.
Peter
Parker.
Henry McCoy.
The Beast.
I
was totally right. Oh my God.
As a teenager, by a malicious entity because of his exceptional high IQ. Of course. Gamma radiation, assume a form similar to the Hulk.
I still like going way
linked to
back.
a supercomputer.
What?
That's crazy. He's linked to a supercomputer.
Oh, no wonder he's so freaking smart. Can I get an Ultron sideline?
Hank Pym.
Smartest asshole in the world. Dude,
Bruce.
Like Hank Pym sucks. Like real talk. Everyone fight me on this, but like Hank Pym is like a jerk. I don't like dealing with him. Victor Von Doom.
Valeria. Yeah.
The goddaughter. That's what happens when you hang out with Dr. Doom all day.
This is what you do when you hang out with Dr. Doom all day.
What are we going to do today? Like Godfather Doom? We're going to do organic chemistry.
Lunella Lafayette.
Oh, well.
She inadvertently summons an interdimensional devil dinosaur.
Nice. Like her already.
Needless to say, there is nothing compared to how smart she is, the extent of which was established after Lunella completed the Banner Box, a test that no other super genius on Earth had ever solved, including Bruce Banner himself.
Is that what's called the Banner Box? And it's Reed Richards.
Reed Richards is hypothetically at the top. This is, what we just did is we read somebody's list, so this is somebody's opinion.
Oh, yeah. So, again, inviting controversy.
Because they give us Lunella, and they say that she's completed the Banner Box, which nobody else has ever been able to do.
And then just drop Reed Richards.
Yeah, and then just drop Reed Richards. Like, okay, all right.
I'm a stretchy man.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Although I do like that about the 2005 movie is that they're doing like a science fight at the end. Because like Doc Doom is just like, what happened? Is like Science 101. What happens when you use super cool rubber, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, hey, Science 101. What happens when you superheat metal? Like,
Nah. A lot of people I remember were upset at those parts. And then Incredibles 2, they do the same thing with Elastigirl, where what do you do when you super cool rubber? And she sticks her in this cryo chamber where it's like negative degrees, and she says if she stretches, she'll break. And I'm like, they did the Fantastic Four! And nobody complained about them, like, you dicks. This is a good example of Doc Doom, just like where his humor is. The panel that they have is it's Doc Doom in probably his foyer or his living room in his big castle, and he says, "What's the meaning of this, Richards? Here in Latveria, Doom demands that children always get a good night's sleep." And Valeria is holding his hands like, "Hi, Mom." That's how he talks. That's how he acts. He has literally gone through a wall because going through a door is for peasants. This is Doc Doom, people. Don't try and serious him up. Own it, man. Own it.
Like, it's a lot of bravado, but like, I don't know. It's hard.
Because he could have said, yo, what's up? She needs to go to bed. Why are you guys
bedtime.
here?
It's like, no, here in Latveria.
Right, here in Latveria, Doom demands. Doom demands. This is which implies that this is a law, that kids get a good night's sleep. I love this about him.
I feel like this is one of those like if I wanted to move to Latveria, I'd have to prove that I could contribute to society, and it'd be like, ah, shit. Like, I want to get in there. I want to get into Latveria. It's like, what's going on in Latveria? It's like, yeah, we're ruled by like a dictator. It's like, yeah, that sounds awful. No, no, absolutely not, dude. You have no idea. Like we are just living in paradise in this mountain. I don't even know what's going on half the time outside the world because I'm too caught up in enjoying my life. My God.
I probably wouldn't be able to get in the lab area either.
Oh no, I'd have to prove. I could be like, yo, I can work on cars, and he was like, we don't got cars. We just walk everywhere. I was like, damn it.
Damn it.
I don't know. Like, how big is Latveria? Like, actually.
That's a good question. I don't know, and I'm gonna clickety click and see. But with my knowledge of Latveria, I don't think that's something that's been deemed important.
I mean, I don't know. But I'm also the guy who was like, how big is Middle Earth in like the center of Arda before?
Oh yeah, but Token cared about that stuff.
No, yeah, he gave a shit, but it's like for the rest of the story, doesn't really matter because we were trying to figure out the other day how big Middle Earth actually is in comparison to something else, and I don't think we found an answer. I think just because we like got bored. I think you would actually find it pretty easily, but it's about the size of Greece, half the size of Greece.
Go check out Latveria's flag. I love their flag.
What is it?
Their flag is amazing. It's just Doc Doom holding a bunch of lightning bolts.
Huh.
And it has a blue cresting on top, and then some tan in the middle, and then red on the bottom. And it's just so Doom. Okay, what were you talking about?
I was talking about how I love Ben Grimm. We love the thing.
Yeah.
The relationship's good there. I mean, even him and like Johnny going back and forth. Even though I think Johnny's a little bit too much of a douchebag in this, but it does fit with like the spirit of what goes on. Yeah. And I feel like Sue is just sort of there.
And that's the problem.
It's almost like the Invisible Woman is invisible and hard to see.
That's the problem, is that you have to really give Sue a presence because she is surrounded by so many big personalities that if you don't give her one, it's really easy for her to become ironic.
I feel like they just relegated her to like, oh man, it's the woman with her emotions that make her invisible. Yeah, I was like, oh man, I've never seen that before in my entire life.
Wow, that was a little bit.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're not.
I'm not. They do it the whole movie. I think I even brought it up at one point. I was like, I think Sue is just like a prop for the movie. Like, she's just here for Doc Doom and like Reed Richards to fight over in the C plot.
I made a joke while reviewing Mrs. Doubtfire that Pierce Brosnan didn't actually show up to act because he gave such a flat, forgettable performance. And that's how I feel about Sue.
Oh man, I was just like
that she's just cardboard. There. And that's a shame because the Invisible Woman is not cardboard. Sue Storm is not a cardboard character. And this is something that I hope they do in the new one, is that they really do strive to make her not just female and not just a character, because this is a problem that cinema in general has had, is doing strong female characters, because the definition of strong female character seems to get lost in they have to be kick-ass, they have to have no emotions, they have to be able to handle everything by themselves, they have to be able to just like, and usually it means that they fight all their problems. And that's not necessarily what a strong female character means. You wouldn't say that a strong male character only punches his problems. In fact, strong male characters usually allow themselves to be emotionally vulnerable versus just being, I'm going to punch all my problems all at once. And if you do that with females, then it's like the complete opposite, and it's bullshit.
Yeah.
And I don't think that, and this is part of my problem, is that I don't think that the genders should just kind of be equal or blend into each other, because there are differences and you need to embrace those differences. And yes, let them be emotional, but don't let it be a crutch. Don't let men not be emotional and just be a meat shield, and don't let women just be weepy cry, or I'm just going to be here to emotionally drive the males, because that's even worse, is
Oh yeah.
if they actually they're not
That's why I say
emotional
it's
on
like literally a
screen, they're
prop,
just
like pushing
emotional.
forward. Really, I think it's just like focus on like a crazy thing. Just make a good character.
Yeah.
Just make an actual character. And the problem is, like now I'm going to be like plus to like actually like give an example.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as I'm put on the spot, I can't think of anything. This is why I
just
suck
a
at
good
dating
female
so bad.
character.
Huh?
Of just a good female character.
I was just thinking about like a good character that also happened to be female. That was like, because the first thing that comes to my mind, and that's because like I just love Ripley so goddamn much.
Yeah.
But like everyone just goes to that. But the thing is, Ripley's character was literally just a dude before, and they swapped in like bop the thing, and they just swapped in like Sigourney Weaver at like the last minute. So that's not a good example. I think maybe at least in Aliens, yes, that was where like really just came to fruition because Ripley had been established at that point, and she goes through a lot of emotions. Like she finds out her daughter died. You know what I mean? She shows a lot of vulnerability in the movie. I mean, like fucking hell. She's like trying to get Newt back. You know, there's like the scene where they're trapped in the room with the face hugger and stuff like that. She gets mad. She does this stuff, but she's also smart. Mm-hmm. She's willing to learn and do things like that. Like, you know, then we got to deal with Alien 3, which is...
We're going to stop there.
I know, but like, just... make a well-rounded character. Like, not I say well-rounded, that implies like bland, but like make a character that's like a person that you could understand and relate to. And, you know, give them like flaws. Real people aren't perfect. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Don't like make it like if you're going to how about this? If you're going to make them like have like be super emotional, like let there be an actual reason for it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something big, maybe not, but don't let it just be the only thing that drives them. Like, you can have a heart, but you need a brain too. Sort of got to make sense. I don't know. I'm not a screenwriter. Obviously, they don't pay me to do that, so they're not taking my notes. But if you want them, I wrote them in like Crown. Here you go. And I said Crown, not crayon. Sue me. It's how they told it to me in kindergarten, and I can't break out of the habit now.
All right,
I'm upsetty spaghetti now. I've exposed my Crown nature. Like, this thing is like I don't want to say crayon now because now it sounds science fiction-y to me because it's like crayon.
Crayon.
I know, like crayon. I know it's how it's supposed to be said because I've like looked at how it's actually spelled. And, like, you know, obviously because I've grown up and I've seen them again. And it's just like, I feel dumb because I keep saying crown, but it's like, I can't break it out. It's like, it's easier to say because it has like less like noise and like syllables in there.
Yeah, syllables.
And I'm just like, don't feel like it. So I guess it's not really me like just forcibly choosing it. I think it's just because I'm a lazy bastard and I don't want to change.
Cool. So on that note, I think this is a good place to wrap it up because I've run out of things to say that is Fantastic Four, and we've.
I could whoop up on the Fantastic Four a lot. I hated the music choices that they made for this. All the scenes that play with Johnny's music date the movie like severely.
The music that is not the original score.
I don't even remember the score.
I thought the original score was fine. But when it came to we purchased this music to be able to use it in the movie music, that can go burn.
Yeah, miss me with that. I could go without it. No, I do think we talked about it because it was just like an enjoyable movie to watch. It's like, it's all right. It's got like the cheesy factor, you know. It's a popcorn flick. You could sit down and watch this.
Yep.
I don't know.
Wasn't make your popcorn in your hand like Johnny.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. I always wanted to do that. Like when I saw that, I'm like, that's such a creative way to use his power. But it also seems very natural because he runs hot all the time. Of course he runs hot all the time. He could just pop the popcorn like that. Yeah. So it was one of those little things that I really liked.
I always thought about like if Johnny got wet, like and just got out, he could just evaporate it off of his body.
Yeah.
Like he'd just heat it up and turn it into steam.
Yeah.
Hell, I think he does that too. in the movie when he like makes
During
that
the
like
snowboard scene, technically.
impromptu sauna.
Yeah. And then this lady who's supposedly
This
a
lady
nurse,
doctor.
This nurse is.
I don't even
just
think
like,
she has a name. I think we looked it up at the time, and she was just like nurse. Like no, it was sexy nurse. That's what it was.
Sexy nurse.
Because
yeah.
it was on like Amazon or whatever, and we could see like what her credit was in the scene, and it was just sexy nurse. It was like, how would you feel if like that's what you get like typed as? But granted, there's some people just get like background person 1, 2, 3, 4, or
Yeah, so
drunk
at
guy
least-
on the street. So Hollywood does it all the time, but I'm just like,
At least
damn,
she got
lady.
a descriptor.
Yeah, no.
I think that their best choice and their worst choice is Doc Doom. And that if they do Doc Doom, they just need to do Doc Doom. They need to not be afraid.
Lean into it.
Yeah.
Just
lean into it. He is a pompous, arrogant, narcissistic genius.
techno mage badass.
Just lean into it and make him talk like he talks in the comics. He's always talking about he, him, Latveria. He doesn't address things like a normal person. He always talks with a certain level of
Gravitas.
nobility.
Yeah.
Do that.
Also, the Judge Dredd rule applies. Keep the damn helmet on.
Yeah.
I know he takes it off sometimes. I don't care. Not
it on.
now.
Keep it on.
Leave it on. Do it later. Make it like a big reveal or something. Just keep the damn helmet on.
Ooh, that would be a good climactic moment.
Right?
His mask getting knocked off.
See, that's the thing. Like, if they're
And
going to
then
do
you're
Doctor
like,
Doom,
he's human.
like, he needs to be like the next Loki. Because Loki stuck around. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Doc Doom needs to stick around. You can't just kill Doom.
Yeah.
Like, that is like a total waste of his character. I am deeply afraid they will do that.
That's another thing that they really need to stay away from is don't get rid of your characters. Don't get rid of your villains. They're not one-offs. It works so well when you don't do that. And great examples.
multi-movie contracts. Yeah. The paperwork. You're Disney. You can afford to get out of here.
Well, Disney did get out of it. The example I was going to give was the latest Spider-Man movie, where they brought all the villains from the other Spider-Man universe when they bring all the Spider-Mans together. You know how well that worked? You know how great that was?
Yeah, it was great to see them all. I was like, oh, man, look at you. Jamie Foxx, they gave you a glow-up. Pun intended. No, seriously, Electro and Amazing Spider-Man 2 sucked.
Yeah. No.
Oh, my God. I was like, really? That's the design you went with?
You could have done anything.
Anything, man.
Anyway, but
no, we should probably drop because we're just going to keep spinning off.
But the point is that you don't just get rid of your villains because they can come back and they can make things better, and you got to stop just axing them off.
Dramatic
something.
tension and all that.
Right.
Mm.
I think that the relationship between the Fantastic Four needs to be something that's solid. They need to have the relationship with each other and not just focus on one or two people, because they're supposed to be Marvel's first family. So they need to have that. Everybody needs to have a relationship with each other, and that needs to be showcased, not just focus on, we'll just say Reed and Sue because they're the easiest one to focus on because they technically have a relationship.
Yeah, except they're the two I don't care about the most.
Right, but
I'm a monster man. What can I say?
They have bestest daughters, so I care a little bit. Just a little bit.
All right. Yeah, so that was it. That was the thing.
Yeah.
We did it.
Yep.
This is where we do the outro, right?
This is where we do the outro.
Right.
Like, subscribe, ring the bell. We are going to start trying to do this every month, and we're getting into the spooky half of the year.
Yeah,
so there's going to
good
be
time.
some spook for the next 3 months.
I like horror stuff. That's really more my bread and butter.
I like thriller stuff. I like thriller things, but it's not the only thing I like, which is why the channel's a whole bunch of stuff. So we're going to be coming in with that this coming month because I'm going to have to release 2 in September.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So look forward to that. Do your plant things. Go outside. Drink water.
Touch grass. Definitely drink water. Wear your seatbelt. Always a good thing. Call your loved ones. Maybe keep in touch. You never know. Just
don't talk to strangers. Don't take candy from strangers.
Yeah.
We're not quite in October yet, but that's something that's really important. Don't take candy from strangers because you never know what they do to it.
Mm-hmm. Or just don't, you know what? Don't talk to strangers. Don't talk to anybody. Just to get that Amazon, funnel money into that thing with the drone sends food to your house. Never leave again. Do it. It's scary out there. Forget about it. All that stuff I said before, forget it. Nah.
And this is right after we said go do your plant things like go outside.
Oh, yeah, no.
All right, so we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.